I never thought Christmas dinner would be the night everything broke, but that's exactly how it happened. My name is Daniel. I'm 32 years old, and until that evening, I truly believed my girlfriend, Emily, and I were building something solid. Not perfect, not fairy tale, but real. Or at least that's what I told myself. We'd been dating for almost 2 years. Long enough to know each other's habits, long enough to talk about the future without laughing it off. I wasn't flashy. I knew that. I wasn't the guy who posted luxury vacations or surprised her with expensive gifts just to film her reaction. I was steady. I showed up. I listened. I paid attention. And I thought that counted for something. Emily, on the other hand, loved expectations. She loved how things looked from the outside. She came from a family where appearances mattered, where success was measured loudly, not quietly. Still, I thought we balanced each other. She brought excitement. I brought stability. Or at least that's how I saw it. Christmas was a big deal to her family. Big table. Big opinions. Big energy. I'd already been nervous all week. Not because I didn't like them, but because I always felt like I was being evaluated. Like I was one wrong answer away from failing some test I never agreed to take. That night I dressed carefully. Not too casual. Not too stiff. I even wore the watch Emily once said made me look more put together. I brought a bottle of wine her dad liked and a dessert her mom always complimented. I wanted to do everything right. I wanted to belong. At first things were fine. The house smelled like pine and roasted meat. Christmas music played softly in the background. People laughed. Glasses clinked. Emily sat next to me, her hand resting lightly on my arm. From the outside we probably looked perfect. Dinner started and the conversation drifted the way it always did. Jobs. Promotions. Who bought what house? Who was traveling where next year? I stayed quiet, chiming in politely when spoken to. Emily talked more, animated, confident, glowing in a way she always did around her family. Then her uncle asked one of those questions people pretend is harmless. "So, Daniel," he said, smiling, "what's next for you two?" I felt Emily shift beside me. I opened my mouth to answer, something vague about taking things step by step, when she laughed. Not a nervous laugh. Not an awkward one. A light, amused laugh. "Well," she said, lifting her glass slightly, "if I'm being honest, Daniel isn't really what I expected when we first started dating." The table went quiet. Not silent, but noticeably still. Forks paused midair. Someone cleared their throat. I smiled instinctively. The kind of smile you wear when you're not sure if you've just been complimented or insulted. "What do you mean?" I asked, keeping my tone light. She shrugged, still smiling. "I don't know. I guess I thought by now things would look a little different. You know? Bigger." A few people chuckled uncomfortably. Her cousin looked down at his plate. Her mom frowned slightly but said nothing. I felt my face grow warm. "Different how?" I asked. Emily waved her hand like I was missing the obvious. "Career-wise. Lifestyle-wise. When we started dating I thought you'd be more ambitious." There it was. The word people use when they want to sound reasonable while cutting you down. I nodded slowly. "Right," I said. "Ambitious." She leaned in a little closer, lowering her voice but not enough. "I mean I love you, but it's okay to admit you're not exactly what I imagine long-term." I felt something inside me shift. Not explode. Not crack loudly. Just move. Like a door quietly closing. I looked around the table. No one met my eyes. No one jumped in. It was one of those moments where you realize that embarrassment is a group activity, and you're the only one playing. I took a sip of water, buying myself a second. "That's interesting," I said. "I didn't realize this was the time or place." She laughed again. "Relax. It's Christmas. We're just talking. Just talking." In front of her family. Over dinner. About my shortcomings. The rest of the meal blurred together. I answered questions with short responses. I stopped volunteering anything. Emily kept talking, occasionally touching my arm like nothing had happened. Like she hadn't just reduced 2 years of effort to a disappointment wrapped in holiday cheer. On the drive home, she hummed along to the radio, clearly in a good mood. I stared out the window, watching Christmas lights streak past. "You're quiet," she said finally. "I'm fine," I replied. She sighed. "You're still stuck on what I said, aren't you?" I didn't answer right away. "I just didn't expect to hear that," I said. "Especially not like that." She rolled her eyes. "Daniel, you're being sensitive." "I was just being honest." "Honest." Another word people hide behind. "I just think," she continued, "if we're going to be serious, you need to step up. I don't want to settle." That was the moment I realized something. not about her. About me. I had been trying to prove my worth to someone who had already decided I wasn't enough. When we got home, she went straight to the bedroom, scrolling on her phone. I stayed in the living room, sitting in the dark with the Christmas tree lights blinking softly. I thought about every time I'd adjusted myself to fit her expectations. Every time I'd swallowed a comment, delayed a goal, told myself that love meant compromise. And for the first time, I asked myself a question I should have asked much earlier.